What is up, guys? It is your main man Snaggle J back with some more MLB The Show 17 franchise mode. My Toronto Blue Jays are now in 2017, and this will be a report for the end of May 2017. As you can see, the Blue Jays are still tied for first place in the American League East with the Boston Red Sox with a 34-20 record. I kind of expected better than our 16-12 in May, considering that we had a pretty light out of division schedule. As you can see to the far right, we have a 14-4 in division record, so with a lot of divisional games still on the table, a lot of room to jostle around here. There you see the Red Sox are 33-19. The Yankees are 4.5 games back at 28-23. The Orioles are 8 games back at 26-28. The Rays are 19-35, 15 games behind. As you guys know, we had a few spots of downside in the April report. We did make a few moves to the big league club during the month of May. The first move was we sent Andrew Benintendi down to AAA and brought up Dalton Pompey. We also made a couple moves in the bullpen that I'm going to touch on in a minute. Taking a look at our hitter stats through 2 months, Josh Donaldson is already off to an MVP type of season, hitting .321 with 24 home runs and 55 RBIs so far. Troy Tulowitzki is having a great season at the plate as well, and while the power is not there with only 8 home runs, he is hitting .320 and with 36 RBIs. Devin Travis hitting .314 with 3 homers and 24 RBIs as well is giving some good talent to the bottom of the order. Chris Coughlin and Chris Jimenez both hitting over 300 off the bench. Gregory Polanco cooled off a little bit in the batting average department in May. He's now hitting .281, but has 13 homers and 28 RBIs so far. And the $100 million man, Edwin Encarnacion, 15 homers and 33 RBIs so far, and has his batting average up now to .265. There's Dalton Pompey, who got 57 at-bats in the month and .263 average, 1 home run, 4 RBIs, and 1 steal. Not that bad. Better than we were getting out of Benintendi. Ian Desmond had a bad month in the batting average department as he dropped down over 25 points to .251, 5 homers, 22 RBIs. I'd like to see a little bit more production considering the investment that we put into him in the offseason. Russell Martin, that .225 may look bad, but if you guys watched the April recap video when he was hitting in the 150s, that would be a considerable improvement. 5 steals from Russell Martin as well. Josh Bell is creeping closer to the Mendoza line. He's hitting .197 now with 6 homers and 21 RBIs. For a team that is trying to get into the playoffs, I'm not sure how much longer we're going to be able to let Josh Bell play every day and hit .197. Steve Pearce, who we signed as a super utility bench guy, has not had a great season, hitting .179. Jumping on over to the pitchers now, Marcus Stroman and Jay Happ are both 7-1. Stroman with a .269 ERA, Happ with a .282 ERA, both leading contenders for the projected AL Cy Young right now. Next up, you see Estrada and Sanchez, both with a 5-4 record, but 2 very different stories so far. Estrada with a .279 ERA and a .97 WHIP. Sanchez with a 4.80 ERA and a 1.55 WHIP, which, remember kids, record for pitchers is not always everything. Jordan Lyles is our number 5 starter. 3-3 with a .318 ERA. He's got a bit of a high whip, but he's been doing a good job for us out of the 5th spot as we wait for some of our lower guys to mature. You guys saw in the April video, if you watched it, that we were having some issues in the bullpen. We made some moves. We sent down Ryan Webb and Bo Schultz, and we brought up Brian Tepera and Lewis Coleman. Joe Biagini continues to be a leading man down there for us with a .312 ERA so far, 32 strikeouts in 26 innings. Osuna has 18 saves as our closer. Can't ask for much more than that. Aaron Loop is showing why we let Brett Cecil go in the offseason. 1-0, 24 innings, 24 Ks, a 1.88 ERA, and an even 1.0 WHIP. Brandon Maurer is doing a great job in his transition to the bullpen. 20 and 2/3 innings, 16 Ks, and a .305 ERA. Ryan Tepera, not a great month after getting called up. A 5.28 ERA is not that great, but he's better than what we were getting out of Bo Schultz, who had an ERA of 16. Jesse Chavez is really not impressing me a whole lot. A 9.16 ERA and an almost 2 whip out of our long man. Not going to get done. And Lewis Coleman, who we brought up, only got into 2 innings. Hopefully we can get him into some more ball games as the month goes on. Taking a look at our disabled list real quick, we do have a few injuries. Chris Coughlin is just a minor knee sprain right now. Ezekiel Carrera was on the 15-day DL at AAA, is almost ready to come back. Richie Moses, who is one of our better AAA relievers, fractured his hand. He was out 2 to 3 weeks. He's also on the 15-day DL. Shane Dawson, who was our best starter in AA, you can see on the screen a 3-1 record with a 1.10 ERA, has been on the DL with a broken hand for over a month now, and still has another little ways to go. A couple guys with some longer injuries, both at shortstop. Ryan Goins tore his shoulder and was set to be out 2 to 3 months. He still has a 1 to 2 month window left there. And Shane Optis, who tore his finger ligament early on in the season, is a couple of weeks away from coming back, so that'll be good to bolster our infield down in the Fisher Cats AA program. So taking a look real quick, guys, at the American League leaders, and as you can see, Mike Trout, who hit .418 in the month of April, is all the way down in 12th place now with a .312 batting average. Mookie Betts is hitting .359, has a 30-point lead over Jason Kipnis and Jurickson Profar. Donaldson and Tulowitzki are 6th and 7th, respectively, and Devin Travis is down there in 11th. Josh Donaldson and Mookie Betts are tied for the American League lead with 69 hits. Mike Trout and Jurickson Profar both have 22 doubles. Leonis Martin, 5 triples. Josh Donaldson has a 7-home run lead with 24 right now. Nelson Cruz is second with 17. JD Martinez and Miguel Sano are tied for third with 16. There you see Edwin Encarnacion is fifth with 15. And Polanco is tied for 8th with 13. Josh Donaldson also with a 13 RBI lead so far over JD Martinez, 55 to 42. Mookie Betts is the other American League player to crack 40. Runs now, Josh Donaldson with a 1-run lead over Mookie Betts. Jose Iglesias is third with 36. And there you can see Tulowitzki is 4th with 35. Edwin and Polanco tied for 5th with 34. Jose Altuve has a 1 stolen base lead, 21 to 20 over Craig Gentry. Tony Campana, who was the leader after the month of April, cooled off a little bit on the speed side and has 16. Josh Donaldson has a .721 slugging percentage to lead the league and 11.09 OPS, which is pretty much identical to Mookie Betts. And Mike Trout, who had a 13-something OPS after April, is still above 1,000, hitting at 1,036. Taking a look at the pitching side now, Jeremy Hellickson has 9 wins to lead the American League. David Price is second with 8. Mike Minor, Marcus Stroman, Jay Happ, and Nate Carnes all have 7. Glenn Perkins leads the American League with 20 saves. Cody Allen and Roberto Osuna are tied with 18. Then you see Zach Britton and Steve Cishek with 17. Andrew Heaney is the only starting pitcher in the American League who qualifies with an under 2 ERA at 193. Carlos Rodon is at 229. Jose Quintana is at 264. You can see Marcus Stroman is in 6th with a 269. Marco Estrada is 11th with a 279. And Jay Happ is 13th with a 282. Marco Estrada and Rick Porcello are the only American League pitchers with 2 shutouts. Carlos Rodon leads the American League with 84 strikeouts. Danny Salazar is second with 78. Jordan Zimmerman is third with 75. David Price, Rick Porcello, Stephen Wright, and Andrew Heaney all have 3 complete games. 3 of those guys are Red Sox. As you can see, the Red Sox starting pitching has been phenomenal so far this season. And Marco Estrada, the only American League starter with a qualifying whip under 1 at the .97. Last but not least, let's take a look at the WAR department. Masahiro Tanaka has the best starting pitching WAR in the AL with a 2.70, followed by Matt Latos with a 2.15 and Dallas Keuchel with a 2.12. Marcus Stroman cracks the list for the Blue Jays with a 1.71 in 9th place, and Marco Estrada a 1.57 in 12th place. Jumping over, looking at the batting wire, Josh Donaldson way out in front with a 4.33 wire so far. Mike Trout is second with a 3.55. Troy Tulowitzki of the Blue Jays is third with a 2.95 wire. Well, guys, that is it for the May recap for the 2017 Toronto Blue Jays franchise here at MLB The Show 16. Like I said, guys, if you'd like to provide any feedback on these videos, please jump down into the comments below and let me know what you'd like to see, what you'd like me to take out. I appreciate any feedback that you can provide. And as always, guys, if you like the video, make sure to spank that thumbs up button. And until next time, peace.